Welcome dear children to e-learning classes. We shall continue with lesson number 3, sports. Here is an experience narrated by a scuba diver. Scuba diving is a water sport. Scuba diving is a form of underwater diving in which a diver uses a self-contained underwater breathing equipment to breathe underwater. Some people with great courage love this scuba diving sports very much. The writer writes about his own experience of scuba diving here. At first, he was scared of the thought of sea snake, but then, being greatly curious about the sports, he decided to overcome his fear and chase the sport. After taking a private lesson from his instructor, the writer takes his first dive, 12 meters deep. He feels a little uncomfortable in the beginning, but then gets comfortable to explore the underwater sea. He finds everything green in his surroundings. He also finds big corals. Now, what is this coral means? It is rock formed in the sea. So he finds big coral like giant mushrooms and some sea creatures. He also finds some fish hiding in the sand. The fin from his right foot get detached and is found by his instructor. He laughs a lot. He has dived 5 times in 2 days. Every next dive he feels smoother. He is happy to find many types of fishes and thousands of creatures living under the sea peacefully. He finds the sea beautiful, underwater, quite peaceful too. He is happy to enjoy the green world and its inhabitants around him. Now let's read the passage. Some people are scared to try scuba diving. Some people love this sport and always find their excuse to go somewhere only to dive. Is this sport has some similarities with my favorite fruit, durian. Either you love it or you hate it or just don't have the courage to try. I'd been thinking to take a course on scuba dive month ago, but wasn't sure as I'm scared of snakes, sea snakes. Thinking about it makes me sick and all frightened. But then I was so curious why people love it so much. They all say that under the sea is like a totally different world, yet a beautiful one. And for that, I am taking my risk and try to overcome my fear of possibilities of bumping into a sea snake. Yeah, you can laugh at me. So, after taking a private lesson from my diving instructor, I went to an island. Here's my first experience. First dive 12 meters deep. Try hard not to panic. What the hell am doing? I said to myself. What if something bad happened? But I kept a positive thought. It's going to be a wonderful experience. Just do it. Then I sank myself and went down deeper and deeper. I could feel my heart beat fast and my ears hurt as I went deeper. Following my diving instructor, I equalized my ears often until I felt comfortable to explore the underwater sea. Suddenly, all around me was green. I felt like living in a green world. Really, as far as I could see, everything was green. I saw some corals, big one, some of them looked like giant mushrooms. I saw some sea urchin too. A lots of fish hiding in the sand. I was enjoying the scenery all around me until my instructor waved at me with her hand, holding a pink fin. What? That fin looks similar, I thought. And yes, That's my fin. Ha ha ha. I didn't realize that my right fin managed to release itself from my right foot. I was almost choked from laughing with a regulator on and the mask attached on my face. So that was my first dive. In total, we drove 5 times in 2 days, managed to dive up to 18 meters depth. The next dive was smooth and for sure I didn't lose my fin. Was so happy to see different types of fishes swimming in front of me as if I was invisible. The sea definitely looks beautiful underwater, and it really amazed me to realize that there are thousands of creatures living underwater sea peacefully. It was indeed so peaceful down there, so quiet. All I could hear was only my breath, breathing in, breathing out, while enjoying the green world and its inhabitants around me. Now we move on to activity 6. Archery is a sport. History of archery in India date back in Vedic era. You are familiar with the story of Eklavya. Eklavya was a Shudra boy and he was not given the privilege to learn archery from Dronacharya. Dronacharya was the Acharya of Pandavas and he has promised Arjun that he will make him great archer. But when Dronacharya saw that Eklavya without anyone's help has become a great archer, he told Eklavya that you have taken this education from my idol, so now you have to give me the Guru Darshana. Without wasting a single minute, when Eklavya cut off his thumb and gave it to his Guru, Dronacharya was moved by this act, but he was satisfied as he kept the promise what he made to Arjun. But despite of his handicap, Eklavya continued to practice archery. How could he do so? When one is dedicated, one can make even mountains bow. Mountains means any hardship. With practice, Eklavya could shoot arrows with his index and middle finger, and he became a greater archer than he was ever before. His renown spread far and wide. When Drona came to know this, he blessed the boy silently and begged for divine forgiveness. And true to Drona's blessing, Eklavya is still praised as the most loyal and brave student in the epic of Mahabharata. Activity 7. Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar is probably the most famous and popular sportsman in India. He has become the public figure but has managed to maintain a dignified, mature outlook, remaining aware of his responsibilities while protecting his privacy. When he married Anjali, a doctor and friend from his childhood, he rejected large sum from satellite TV for live coverage, keeping it a family affair. He knows the worth, and over the next few years his endorsement are worth 75 million US dollars. But he is not a grabber. His father, who was an university professor, taught him a sense of work ethics. Work ethics means the commitment of a job. Sachin Tendulkar was born in Mumbai on 24th April 1973. Since childhood, he has trodden a very steady and almost inventable path to greatness. In school at Shraddha Ashram Vidya Mandir, he got an opportunity to bat for hours. In a competition for under 17 Harris Memorial Challenge Shield, he scored his first century from the school at the age of 12, and since then there was no looking back. He was 16 years and 205 days old when he made his test debut in November 1989 in the National Stadium in Karachi. The very next year, he hit his first Test century in the Old Trafford, Manchester, England. This century was an example of an exercise in technique, concentration, and application beyond his tender age, and it saved a match being lost. It had come 31 days earlier. He would have been the youngest century maker in Test history. In 1991-92, he went to Australia, where they still talk in awe of his centuries scored in Perth and Sydney. I hope, dear children, you have understood the chapter. Thank you for watching the video.